Yo, what's up, Met fans? How we doing today? Beautiful day. It's like a spring day out at Citi Field. If you're on your way to the ballpark tonight for Mets A's, after just not a good series against the Diamondbacks, they're out of town though. We got what we wanted now. Holmes on the mound tonight, trying to continue a great start. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Carson Bench. He's back in the lineup again tonight, and McClain, a wasted good start from McClain, which the Mets get all the time from McClain. And listen, last night was not good. What's up, everybody? Bob Walters here, just in case you don't know, Mets fans. Welcome to the show. Game starts in about, hour and a half now, right? So if you're hanging out watching the Masters, Rory blew the lead. He's now back in second place. That's a whole nother story. I got that on. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on. But the Mets, listen, last night, not good, right? Now you've had McClain, who's just been unbelievable. I've been on him since when he first started last year. He is the ace of the staff. I think he's going to surpass even Peralta very soon as the ace of the staff. But Holmes going today is almost been pitching excellent, 1.42 ERA. But yesterday with McClain, listen, he's given them 10 of 11 starts. He says it. I have it right here. Hold on. I have it right here. I should have it down already. But in 10 of 11 starts, he has struck out double digits. I'm sorry. He's allowed 2 or fewer runs in 10 of the 11 starts. He's only the second man in franchise history to do that. Not even Doc Gooden did that. So, I mean, and to have him leave with the lead 1-0, and then you blow it, and they're down 2-1, and then he gets the loss in that game is even worse. But the bullpen coming in, again, it's the offense, it's the bullpen. And for them to blow that start yesterday with McClain, I mean, look at this line. 6 1/3. You can't ask for anything more. 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. His ERA is 2.7, and he's 1-1. And last night, he had no business losing that game. The Mets gave up a ton of runs to Arizona, who's a team that doesn't score a lot of runs. Coming into this series, they were the lowest scoring team in baseball. And then they got 2 games where they scored, 7 runs. That can't happen. And the bullpen faltered yesterday. Yet Weaver gave up 2 runs. Garcia came in. He was no good. Gave up 3 runs. Lovelady, mopped it up at the end. But a game that's 1-1 or even 1-0 in the 6th inning, it's a game you got to win if you're Mets, if you're at home against a team like Arizona. Now, if you guys want to call the show, you see the top left corner. There is a QR code right there. Just scan the QR code. You press, you answer like 2 quick things, and then you write your name, and then you'll be connected right to the show. We'll put you on. Talk to us about tonight's series, about tonight's game. We got the return of Jeff McNeil coming back. What kind of ovation do you think he's going to get? We got a lot to talk about here in the next couple minutes. I just look. I know I'm wearing the white T-shirt. I'm a mess today, but this is nothing compared to. I actually went to work. I'm not even going to tell you. I'll tell you. I went to work last night with 2 different shoes on. Like I had the left and the right correct, but there were 2 different pairs of shoes. There was a Puma and there was an Adidas, and I didn't realize it until my wife texted me about an hour after I left. She goes, "Did you wear 2 different shoes to work?" I said, "I don't think so." When they were in the locker room, but it turns out when I got there today that to put them back on, I wore 2 different pairs of shoes. But so anything that gets wrong during this whole thing, just excuse it. I've been working a whole bunch, so I'm tired. But I figured I'd come on here. Like I said, scan the QR code if you want to join the show. We're going to talk Mets baseball here for the next about half hour. We're going to talk about the upcoming series with Jeff McNeil and the A's coming into town, coming right from the Bronx, and the Mets now, who they were good, right? The Mets were good after the Giants series until they weren't. And they came home and they won the first game of that Arizona series, and it looked good. You had the walk-off, Mauricio, and everything, and all the fields were there, and everything was great. And then they lay an egg in the last 2 games. They end up losing a series that they really should win. And I had said coming into this series that you want to take 5 out of 6 of this homestand because you're going out now, back out west. You got the Dodgers, you got the Cubs who are struggling, but you got the Dodgers and the Cubs and Wrigley. You want to beat up on these bad teams. And the A's and the Diamondbacks are two bad teams. So, that's what we want to do here. And the Mets waste a perfectly good start. When you get into the seventh inning from a pitcher like McLean, he gives up only 2 runs. You gotta give him more runs. I mean, we've seen it a million times with the Mets just over the years. Go back to the DeGrom years. Every single time he pitched, the Mets would not score any runs for him. And it's happened with McLean now a couple times going back to last year that the Mets just don't score for him. And now I know with the different teams and everything like that, but you gotta be able to put runs up for these guys. And they're not asking for a lot of runs. McLean doesn't need a lot of runs to win a game. You'll give him 3-4 runs and he's good. Last night he would have been good. He left with a 1-0 lead. He ended up getting the loss because Weaver came in and he just was terrible. And then Garcia was not much better, giving up the 3 runs. The game was over before you know it. So time to start anew. Like I said, beautiful weather out at Citi Field tonight for the night game. It was still cold last night. I think they probably should have moved all 3 games of that series to the afternoon. I guess they wanted to keep one of them, but what are you going to do? So tonight we're back. It's spring-like weather. It's supposed to get warm over this weekend, and hopefully the Mets bats can come around. Now we got the lineup for today. Let me give you tonight's lineup before we move on here. 1 second. So here is the lineup for. Hold on 1 second. For tonight's game, you got Lindor leading off, Bichette, Young, Robert Jr., Beatty in right field, Simeon at second base, Mauricio, Alvarez, and Carson Bench back in the lineup. And Carson Bench is who I want to talk about because he obviously hasn't been hitting, right? It's obviously been a problem. You got Bench in there. People are talking about sending him down. Do they send him down? Do they not send him down? Listen, I told you coming into this season that you're going to have to live with this decision to bring him north with this team. And if that's what you're going to decide to do, you got to stick with it. Now, will there be a time where I change my tune on that and say send him down? Of course. If this continues for another month and he's hitting 120 at the end in the middle of May, then you got to send him down because right now he's an automatic out. He wasn't in the lineup yesterday. I think Mendy wanted to sit him down, let him go and kind of relax and take a deep breath. He's back in there tonight. He's in the 9 hole. He's got to start hitting a little bit, okay? Because he looks overmatched. Can't catch up with the fastball. And I'm not surprised that this is what's happening. It's worse than I thought, maybe a little bit, but it's not crazy. It's not much worse. This guy played in rookie ball, had about 60 at-bats outside of rookie ball before coming up to the big club this season and playing in the major leagues. You don't just come up like that and dominate like people thought he was going to. He had a good spring. He hit a home run on opening day, and people thought it was away we go. And it's not like that. This team it's different in the major leagues than anywhere else, and everybody knows it. Carson Bench it doesn't mean he's not going to be a good player, but I think you got to stick with him for at least a couple more weeks. Because if you start yo-yoing this kid back and forth between Syracuse and Flushing, you're going to kill his confidence. And I know you say, well, what kind of confidence does he have now, right? And you're right. But he's shown signs of possibly coming out of it because he had 2 hits robbed by the center fielder in the Arizona series, right? He had the hit back at the warning track where the guy made the nice basket catch in the 9th. I think it was the 9th inning in the first game. And then in the second game, the center fielder again robbed him, coming in on a diving play on a short little bloop. Robbed him of a hit. So he could have had 2 hits. Then he got a hit in the 9th inning of the other day. Did it break him out? We're going to find out tonight. We're going to find out in this series. He's got to start hitting a little bit because right now it's a hole in the lineup. And the Mets have a couple holes in the lineup. Bench is a hole in the lineup. Lindor is a hole in the lineup. Now, I'm not justifying saying do anything with Lindor. You don't want to do anything with Lindor because Lindor, this is what Lindor does. This is who Lindor is, right? He comes in, he stinks in April. 130, 140. He's going to turn that into a 250 by mid-May. It's going to be up to near 275 by mid-June, and then away he goes. Lindor, I'm not worried about. Put that aside. But with Lindor's struggles, when you also have Bench, which is an automatic out at this point. I mean, the guy was 0 for 24 before the hit in the ninth inning, regardless of whether he's getting robbed or not. He's 0 for 24 with a ton of strikeouts, and he looks bad at the plate. So you have that hole. That's a hole in the lineup completely. Then you go to Lindor, who's still not really hitting. He's still not hitting, right? He's chasing pitches now that Soto's out. So you have that hole in the lineup. That's 2 holes. Then you lose Soto for 3 weeks. Now you have 3 holes in the lineup. That's a third of the lineup that's not hitting. All right, Alvarez is hitting. Simeon and Bichette has started to come around. Okay, so everybody that was killing Bichette, he started to come around. He's gonna be okay. But you have 3 holes in that lineup now. You have Young hitting third, playing first base. You don't want Jared Young as your third hitter. Jared Young is not the third hitter and the first baseman on a good baseball team. He's just not. And I know he's gotten a couple hits and he's hit well, and he's basically kicked it in my face for killing him last year and this year. But Jared Young is not a third hitter on a good team in the major leagues. He's just not. So you got to get Benj going. Lindor will get going. We know that. We know Lindor will get going. But you got to get Benj going. And if he doesn't get going, I say give him the 3 weeks that Soto is out here. Okay? Because you need the extra body anyway in the outfield and everything. Let him play these 3 weeks. Keep putting them out there like you have been. If we get to the 3 weeks and Soto's back and Benj is still struggling and he still looks overmatched, then I'm okay with sending him down. But we're still in April. If you're going to send this guy down after making the team and the whole thrill about that and everything about that, you send him down less than a month later, it's going to kill his confidence. Okay, the kid can hit, and he seems like he's kind of got the demeanor where it's okay. He can come through this. He can deal with the pressure. He can deal with the failure of what's going on here in the month. He knows he's a good player. He knows he's a good ball player. He knows he's going to be a good ball player. But there comes a point where you do have to produce. Otherwise, you're going to get sent down. It's going to happen. And I don't think we're there yet. And I know he's hitting 108. He's got the 3rd worst batting average in all of baseball among qualifying hitters. It is what it is. Stick with it. And this is the choice you made. And I said that. I said this might be why I wouldn't bring him up north with the team for opening day. Because this could happen. Now, let's see if he can fight through it. Get some hits, have a big series here against the A's, and then maybe, he gets going and can stay with the team. But if you're going to pull him and send him down in April, at the beginning of April, you brought him on the team. You said you made the team. You had the whole thing with the video and everything, and you bring him north with you, and then 3 weeks later, you're kicking him back up further north to Syracuse. That, I think, is not something you want to do. And I think the Mets did that with Beatty. And I think they stunted Beatty's growth a little bit when they did that because of that reason. They yo-yoed Beatty back and forth all the time. Like 3 or 4 times during his first year or two. And I think it stunted his growth a little bit. As far as today's pitching matchup goes, Clay Holmes did this last year, right? He was excellent in the beginning of the year. He ran into a wall towards the end of the year. But he has been fantastic. Clay Holmes has a 1.70 ERA. Let me bring it up here. Okay. There we go. Clay Holmes with a shortchanged him. He's got a 1.42 ERA. He's pitched brilliantly in the first 2 games. He's going up against Ginn today. Not a great pitcher, a back end starter. A lot of people are saying Holmes has been the best pitcher besides McClain. Now, that's okay, right? We've had that last year with Holmes. The question is later in the year with Holmes, did he stretch his arm out enough last year to where he's going to be okay late in the season this year? Clay Holmes is a good pitcher. Like, we knew this coming in. This is not a big surprise that he does this. He was good in the bullpen. He was good in the bullpen for the Yankees. He's always had this kind of talent. He just doesn't throw the innings. So Clay Holmes, you can throw out there. You don't have to worry about it. You worry about him later in the season. Now, this is the perfect guy we need. We need a stopper here. But again, they had a stopper last night with McLean. And if you're going to put, if the stopper's no good if you don't score any runs. And again, we've seen it a million times. They got to get runs in. The Mets, I mean, just for years and years, not even this team, just other teams that they've had back, the Grom teams, even so to some extent the Gooden teams in '85, they didn't score runs. They get these great pitchers on the mound, and the offense just dies, and it's the most frustrating things. But I think Holmes will have a good start tonight. I think it's important that he does, and if he does, listen, a 1.42 ERA, he's bound to have that go up a little bit, right? The A's are not a great team. They're coming out losing 2 out of 3 to the Yankees in the Bronx just the last couple of days. Now they come over here and they're playing the Mets with Clay Holmes. Now, the big attraction for tonight, obviously, is the Jeff McNeil return. How is he going to be treated? What kind of reaction is he going to get from the fans? I'm not really sure what kind of reaction he's going to get from the fans. If you're in the chat, comment, what do you think? Does he get cheered? I mean, he won a batting title here, right? But he was also terrible when he was here. After the batting title, it was straight downhill for Jeff McNeil. I mean, it was bad at the end. He was a slap hitter that was getting no hits. He had no position. He had to go. I know there are fans who still like him, which is why I think he will get a bit of a cheer tonight at Citi Field during his first at bat or whatever. I think he will get a standing ovation. Nothing crazy, but I would put my money on that he gets a standing ovation. I don't think I would really give him. And trust me, I was a big McNeil guy. I have a McNeil jersey in my closet. I loved McNeil when he won the batting title. I was like, this guy is exactly what this team needs. He was just a good hitter. I think, but he went downhill. Here we go. We got a comment right here. I love Jeff, but he did golf too much, but he was terrible. He was terrible he won the batting title, and then he was terrible, and he got old too, I think. And good for him to go out west, and I think he's where he wants to be right now, out west. With the A's, he can surf, he can golf, and he's a hell of a golfer, from what I understand. He's like a borderline tour pro golfer level type of player, but I think he gets a warm ovation from the Mets fans because just over this last winter, arguing with Mets fans who they didn't argue obviously as fervently as they did for Alonso and Nimmo, which is a whole nother story. Obviously, when Alonso comes back, he's going to get a huge ovation. It's going to be a big thing and well-deserved. And Nimmo too. Nimmo will get a big ovation. But McNeil was a little different. He wasn't as good. He didn't have a position. Towards the end, it got real bad. He won the batting title, but that was years ago. I think he gets a warm ovation tonight, though, from Citi Field and the Mets fans, and I think he's happy to be back. Listen, he was asked about it a couple times while he was in the last series when he played the Yankees. I think McNeil will get a warm ovation tonight. I just don't think I'd be standing up cheering if I was going to the game, which I'm not tonight. I just don't, because it got so bad, and he was part of a collapse, and he was part of a team that went far in the playoffs and everything, but to me, he just, he was disappointing because I expected more. When he won that batting title, I expected, another 2 or 3 years at least of McNeil towards the top of the league in average, a solid hitter, a slap hitter. He became a slap hitter that strikes out and pops up all the time, that had no position, that couldn't play anywhere. And he was a detriment to the team. But we'll see. It's interesting to kind of go over and discuss and see what people feel about how Jeff McNeil was as a Met. Like, is he a good Met? Is nah. I would say I'm trying to think of somebody to compare him to as a Met, and I'd probably say I don't even know. I don't even have a comparable Met because he did win the batting title. But again, the rest of it was just garbage. Like he dropped way down with the batting average, and he's not the same player. He's having an okay start to the year, but you're right. I don't think he golfed too much. But let's see. I love 20. Let's see. Let's put this one on the screen here. Needed to juice. Yeah. Now, listen. He that's another problem. Is he started trying to swing for the fences. He's not a home run hitter. He didn't need to be a home run hitter. He needed to be the guy that won the batting title. And played that kind of, and he was okay in the outfield. He was okay at second base. He was an okay second baseman. I just don't know. I just don't know really what to think about Jeff McNeil's tenure here with the Mets. But either way, listen, the bullpens got to get going. You need Holmes to come out there tonight, pitch a big game. You need the Mets offense to get some runs, and you need and watch for Benj. I think hopefully I'm thinking that he's starting to come out of it with the 2 hits that were robbed against him, with the hit that he got in the 9th inning 2 days ago. I'm starting to think that maybe, just maybe, he's coming out of it, and he has a couple 2-hit, multi-hit games in this series, because I think that would be important too. Get on base a couple times, a couple multi-hit games. Like I said, don't worry about Lindor. Alvarez is hitting well. Vientos, who is not in the lineup tonight, is hitting well. You got, let's go over the lineup again. I didn't go too much into it. Bichette as your DH. Okay. You're going to put Mauricio at third. You're going to give him, you put some speed in the lineup with Mauricio. And Mauricio, I think he deserves the start. I'm all for that. I can live with them putting Bichette at DH for a day, having Mauricio play third. He got the game-winning walk-off hit the other night, the only win in that series. He deserves it. Mauricio's another one. He's hit or miss. Mauricio could be electric. He could be electric, almost like Jose Reyes was electric with his speed, and he hits to all fields. But he could also be very frustrating to watch. Very frustrating. So, it depends on what kind of Mauricio you're going to get. Maybe because he got off to the good start for the season. His first at bat was a walk-off line shot over the right fielder's head. Can't complain with that. And, maybe Mendy's playing kind of a hunch here, putting them in the game. But now the injury, on the injury front with the Mets, obviously Soto gone for 3 weeks. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's very early in the season. I think it gives Benj a little chance kind of to step up. It's going to hurt the Mets. The Mets are going to lose some games here because Soto's out, right? Because Soto's clearly the best player. And with Lindor not hitting, which he doesn't do, and with Benj not hitting, you're going to have some holes in this lineup. You're not going to score as many runs. So Soto being out here, I think the Mets are going to suffer. I don't think they're going to be as good as they, obviously they're not going to be as good as they would be with Soto. But it's 3 weeks. You could live with it. Polanco now they're talking about might hit the IL. What do you do there now at first base? And I think the clear answer is Vientos. I think Vientos is the clear answer as to what to do. He's been the best. He's played. I like the way he's played first base. It's not great. It's not Keith Hernandez, but it's not going to be Keith Hernandez from anybody. But I think he's played well. He's done all right with the picks in the dirt. He saved a couple errors for his infielders, and he's hitting. And I also think Vientos is the kind of guy you got to just keep plugging into that lineup because he panics a little bit. When he makes a mistake or he has an 0 for 4, he kind of panics and thinks maybe I'm not going to be in the lineup tomorrow. Let him think he's going to be in the lineup every day. Put him in every day till June. And I'm telling you, he's hit better. And Beatty's not been bad to start. Beatty hasn't been bad, but Vientos has been good. And we know Vientos can do it. We know Vientos can do it in New York in October because he was impossible to get out for the Phillies in that series. And you want that. I think he's a solid hitter if you just put him in there. He had a bad year. I think the Mets soured on him a little bit. I think they kind of want Beatty to take that job and win that job and be over Vientos in the pecking order. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think Vientos is a better player. I do. I think he's a better player. So, we'll see how that goes. But I would keep putting Vientos in. I'm okay with him not getting the start tonight. That's fine. But Vientos, let him play the next 2 games of this series. Let him play first base. Like I said, they could play both of them because Beatty could play the outfield with Soto out. And I would also put Benj in right field. And I know they don't want to switch up with Beatty. They want him on the left side. He's playing left field. Put Benj in right field. He's a right fielder's arm. He's a good defensive player. And hopefully the defense maybe carries over to the offense. And I think that's big. I think the biggest series right here is going to be Carson Benj. I think play him all 3 games. Let him see if he can get off this snide. I mean, he's 1 for 25. He's got 4 hits all season. This is one of the top prospects in MLB. So obviously he's better than this. We know he's better than this. Everybody knows he's better than this. But when you're 4 hits on the season in a month almost, when you're hitting a 108, you're on the interstate, you've struck out 1 million times, it's got to be weighing on you. He's gonna start getting booed. He really hasn't been booed too much. The boos are coming, and they might come as early as tonight if he goes 0 for 3 or 0 for 2 and he comes up in that third or fourth plate appearance and he gets booed. It could very easily come. But I'm excited for Clay Holmes tonight. It should be fun. It should be a beautiful night out at Citi Field. If you're headed out there, take the train. Don't try parking. First of all, $50 is outrageous. Second of all, there's no spots. Take the train. And if you're driving from Long Island or something, here's a little tip for you. Drive to Woodside train station. There's plenty of parking around Woodside train station on the street and the blocks and stuff all over there. Park on one of the side blocks. Walk the 2 minutes to Woodside station. Hop on the 7 and you're there. You're at Citi Field in 10 minutes. That's a much better chance. That's a much better thing than going and trying to be parking under the overpass or whatever on the Grand Central or wherever they're rerouting you to because of what's going on. So I would say absolutely, if you're driving, fine, from Long Island or wherever you're driving, drive to Woodside. Hop on the train. You park at so here we go. You park at the mall. What, the Queen Center Mall? What mall do you park at? Because if you park at the Queen Center Mall, that's way out of it's not way out of the way. But there's no way to get there, right? Because then if you gotta take the subway, you hop it on the train. The what is it? I guess it's the end of the R. Hop it on that to Roosevelt, and then you hop it on the 7. Woodside, you get the 7 right there. You hop on it, you go right to the game. Pulls you in like 5 stops. Or if you really want to take the Long Island Railroad, you can hop on the Long Island Railroad there and go right into Citi Field. But your best bet is hopping on the 7. It's every 5 minutes the train comes. Hop on the 7. Don't even bother with. But the mall, they charge you to park at the mall though, right? If you're talking about the mall that I'm thinking of, the Queen Center Mall, that's on Queens Boulevard, right? So I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but either way, hey, listen, enjoy. Are you going to the game tonight? Yes or no? Are you going to the game tonight? I park at the mall. There we go. So I don't know. I haven't been yet to a game. I just picked up my season. I just bought a season pass. The Mets pass thing. By the way, greatest thing ever. It's standing room only tickets. Get it's like $350. You get it. You get every game except for the Yankees, which I don't need to go to that anyway. And there's one other and you don't get the Beltran number retirement. Okay, I can live with that too. But for $350 or $360, whatever it is, you get tickets to every single game. And me and Brett did it last year. I did it again. We're doing it again this year. I'm not going tonight because I got work and I just worked 16 hours. Let's see what he says here. Parking garage at the Skyview Mall, $8 for 4 hours. Okay. So I don't know exactly where the Skyview Mall is. But he said it's about 10 minutes away. Okay, you can do that. But you can park at Woodside. Side roads, free. And you hop on the 7. When you go to a Mets game, you got to experience a Mets game by taking the 7 train at one point in your life, right? So why not have it be tonight and save yourself, keep it $50 in your pocket. You could do one of those 9-inning challenges things. But I was just before this, I got this book sent to me. Tim Brown, we had him on the show when he wrote the Tao of the Backup Catcher. He's a multiple-time New York Times bestseller. He's a friend of mine now. I talk to him all the time. I got this book sent to me. We're gonna have him on the show. It's being called the definitive biography of Nolan Ryan. He wrote it with Nolan Ryan, with his family and everything like that. I'm actually gonna start it tonight. I can't wait to read it. But Tim's gonna be on the show next month. Before the book comes out, the week of the book release, he's going to be on our show. I can't wait to read it. Nolan Ryan, very interesting character, kind of, he never won a Cy Young. He never won a World Series game, yet he's considered one of the greatest pitchers of all time. 7 no-hitters, you know the whole story. So I'm going to dig into this thing right here. This is an advanced copy that I got. It'll be on sale in, I think, just under a month it'll be on sale, so it's going to be fun. I'll let you guys know how it is. I'm sure it's fantastic. Everything Tim writes is fantastic. He covered the Yankees of the mid-'90s. He covered the Bulls of the 90s. He covered the Laker dynasties. He was voted top beat writer of the year by his peers. He's a fantastic guy. I like him. He's a good friend of mine. So that does it for us. Hey, if you had let's see what he says here. Parking garage. Okay, no, that's the same thing. So if you're heading out to the game tonight, guys, enjoy it. Enjoy Clay Holmes. Let's I don't know, do what you want to do with Jeff McNeil, right? Do what you want to do. I don't think he's not an important figure in Mets history, regardless of what happens. I think he's going to get a lukewarm cheer tonight in his first at bat. We'll see how it goes, but more importantly, let's get Benj going. Let's see if Mauricio can follow up with his walk-off hit with a big game tonight. Robert Jr., I've been a little disappointed with the defense, but I think that'll come around. And my boy Jared Young at first base tonight with Bo Bichette DHing and Lindor, of course, leading off. So should be a nice night out at Citi Field. Enjoy the game, everybody. It's the A's, right? Let's beat the A's. Let's sweep the A's. 4-2 on this homestand. Because the Mets right now, they were good, and they're looking a lot like a 500 team. And I don't want to sit here all summer through a 500 team because it's annoying. 500 teams is frustrating because they look good for spans and then they look terrible. And so far, that's what they've looked like to me. Now, the Mets haven't been at full force yet. We'll get it going. Soto, obviously, out 3 weeks. The Polanco thing is concerning, but it's very, very early. I wouldn't worry about that. Let's get the pitching. We got a good one tonight. Have Clay Holmes Jr. get him some runs. Would you put up a 4 spot in the first inning? Let's make it a little bit easier. So thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to review us. Leave us a review if you're listening on podcast end, which this will be up in a little bit as the podcast. And don't forget to tell your friends about us. I'm Bob Walters. We'll be back with Brett. We'll be Mark Mancini tomorrow. And then we'll be back with Brett Grasso probably tomorrow, too. Today's Friday, so yeah, probably tomorrow, Brett Grasso. Brett will be back with us. We're going to rip him away from that new girlfriend he's got and get him back on their show and then doing some shows with us again. So enjoy the game tonight, everybody. Let's go, Mets. Let's get a win. It's the A's. Let's sweep this series. Before we head out west to the Dodgers, let's get ourselves 3 wins here at Citi Field. So enjoy the game, everybody. I'm Bob Walters from the Brian Gunzel Studios. See ya.